Hey there and welcome back to Sims Sunday. My name is Pete and in this series we try to complete The Sims 3. And we do have quite the episode ahead of us. Today we will complete a career, a part-time career, a skill and a lifetime wish, and we will also add another member to our household. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We begin things with Pauline, who finishes a painting that we can sell and then watch her grab breakfast. Her Uncle Patrick, meanwhile, will start his day in the garden, and that garden has grown quite significantly over the last few episodes, which on one hand has of course turned it into a serious moneymaker, but it also takes a lot of time for Patrick to go through and harvest everything. The last person awake is Paul, who also starts his day with a breakfast, although with a somewhat questionable one, and Pauline in the meantime has already made it back to painting. The goal for Paul in this episode is to finally finish the 4th masterpiece novel, and after that we only need one more to finally complete the writing skill, and so Paul will spend the majority of his day sitting in front of the laptop. Two hours later, Pauline has already finished another painting, and now I think it's time to get that whole romance thing going again. So let's call Reid and see if he wants to come over. Alright, seems like he does, and we can spend the time until he arrives with more painting. That also quickly pays off as Pauline increases her painting skill to level 7, just a few minutes before we have a stop because Reid has arrived. Sadly though, Reid quickly changes his mind, and so just seconds after arriving he leaves again because apparently he needs to be somewhere else. And I suppose with Pauline getting tired anyway, we might as well send her off to bed now. Then we make a quick jump. 3 hours later, Patrick is finally done in the garden. His shift at the grocery store also starts in less than 2 hours, so let's get him ready for work. First a shower to get the hygiene bar back up, and then a round of sim life goggles to increase his fun bar. Patrick is also getting a bit hungry, and that is a perfect opportunity for us to try something new, because Patrick will now put down the sim life goggles and eat a life fruit. And as you can see, that life fruit has extended his lifespan. Only by 1 day, but with the amount of life fruit we technically have available, that could keep Patrick going for quite a while longer. For the moment though, age is nothing to worry about yet, so let's send Patrick off to work for another shift at the grocery store. Back at home, his brother Paul has become stressed out from writing, but luckily we are prepared for that with a pair of sim life goggles laying close by. Then at around 5 PM and still with 4 hours to go until her work shift starts, Pauline is back up, and I would say let's have another go at Reid. Alright, seems like Reid is currently busy, and that means we need to kill a bit of time, and well, with Pauline there is an easy way to do that. In the meantime, her father has maxed out his fun bar and can therefore now continue writing. And with that, 1 hour has passed, and that means it's now time to call Reid again. But before we get all romantic, let's quickly jump back over to Patrick, who has just finished his work shift. Only 3 hours of work were not enough to get him a promotion, but instead we can now take care of something that is at least equally as good. From a few episodes ago, Patrick still has the Omnificient Plant opportunity. To complete that opportunity, he needs to bring 10 homegrown steaks of outstanding quality or better to the diner, and after today's harvesting trip he has those 10 steaks in his inventory, so let us now complete the opportunity. And here we are. As a reward, Patrick unlocks the Omni plant, and he also receives 3 Omni plant seeds, which means we can now finally grow the last remaining plant in the game. And while Patrick now returns home to do exactly that, Pauline's boyfriend Reid has actually made it inside, and the two of them are already quite busy. And with the wish to kiss Reid fulfilled, let's also fulfill the next one. Patrick meanwhile has planted all 3 Omniplant seeds and is now about to feed the fish, as on the top right corner we can once again see that Reid has decided to leave. Seems like we will have to try once more tomorrow, as for the rest of the evening Pauline will paint. And while she takes a shower here, a quick correction. I know I said earlier that her work shift starts soon. That was actually a mistake. Pauline has the day off today, and her next work shift won't begin until tomorrow night. Patrick meanwhile has fed all the fish and can now take care of the mail and also the bills, and while he does, let's sell the money tree harvests from his inventory. Those will be more than able to cover our expenses here today. We also received 2 small items to sell in the family inventory, and with everything cleared up, Patrick will now be the first one to go to bed. However, only a few minutes later, his brother Paul ends the writing session and also returns back to the bedroom to get some rest. The night then progresses without any disturbances. Pauline is still feeling the positive effects of her sleep earlier, and so she spends the night painting and actually finishes 2 small paintings in the process. Then at 6 AM a well-rested Patrick rejoins us, ready and prepared to start a new day in the garden. And that is exactly where we achieve completion for the first time in this episode, as Patrick finally completes the Master Planter skill challenge, the last remaining skill challenge in the gardening skill. A quick look in the skill journal tells us more. The Omni plants have not yet matured, but they already count as planted, and so Patrick has now successfully planted all 19 types of plants available in the base game, and that completes the last remaining skill challenge and therefore also the gardening skill. We will of course still wait until the Omni plants are fully grown, and we will also feed them to duplicate items, but strictly from the skill challenge perspective, we have completed the gardening skill now. And by the way, among all the trouble, Paul has already started writing again. With Pauline, we will now once again try to invite Reid over, but we will do so a lot earlier than yesterday. That way, he will hopefully be able to stay a bit longer than just a few minutes. And here he is, and once again we can start things off by fulfilling Pauline's wish to kiss her boyfriend. Afterwards, however, we will leave the whole romantic side of things and instead take a more friendly approach. That is necessary for Reid to perceive Pauline as friendly, because once he does, we can ask him to move in. And it seems like Reid agrees to the proposal, so let's welcome Reid Glenn to the complete household. So with Reid officially a household member, we will prepare Pauline for something I have planned for both of them. We will get Pauline the fertility treatment lifetime reward. And a bit more on that in due time. For the moment, Pauline can go back to painting, and with Reid I think it's time for an outfit overhaul. And Reid will pretty much fulfill the role of Pauline's lackey. That will become very clear once the 2 of them have children, and I think it also fits quite well with Pauline's evil personality. And so, in both his everyday and his formal outfit, Reid is already dressed for the occasion. Meanwhile, his sleepwear remained unchanged, and I also brought the topless look back for his athletic outfit. And last but not least, he's showing even more skin with his swimwear. Now, to fully immerse himself in the whole butler personality, Reid will also be the first member of this household to not pursue a career. Still, he will add his fair share to the household funds. And just like Pauline, he will do so by painting. Reid's traits are currently not really well suited for that, but in a few moments we will complete his lifetime wish, and that will give us enough lifetime happiness points to buy the midlife crisis lifetime reward, which will then allow us to make some changes. Pauline's next painting meanwhile has already been completed, and so after selling it we can send her off to bed, because today Pauline definitely has a work shift coming up. 2 hours later, Reid follows suit and completes his first painting, and just like with Pauline earlier, we can sell and start from scratch. Another 2 hours later, Reid's carpool arrives, because Reid is currently employed in the spa specialist part-time career. Now, we have no need to complete that career, and it will also not make us a significant amount of money, and so for those 2 reasons, Reid will simply stay home. Then a quick jump over to Paul, who's already alleviating some stress with the sim life goggles, and also a look at a very smelly Patrick who just returns from his garden. Patrick's work shift starts in less than 1 hour though, so let's quickly get him cleaned up before he can teleport off to the grocery store. Pauline meanwhile is back on her feet and grabs some cake for breakfast, and with just over 20,000 lifetime happiness points available for her, let's spend those on the midlife crisis lifetime reward. And since we've maxed out both the logic and the athletic skill, we can get rid of athletic and genius, and instead the first trait we will grab for her will be artistic, for obvious reasons I would say. And the second trait will be loner, another trait that works quite well for artists or writers. And with those new traits equipped, we can now send Pauline outside to the mailbox, where she will work towards completion of 2 wishes and donate 1,000 simoleons to Undermine charity. Afterwards, Pauline can continue to paint, her boyfriend Reid improves his painting skill to level 1, and Paul finally completes his 4th masterpiece novel. And he will immediately start with the next and coincidentally also the last one, and for completion of number 4 we get a nice cash influx of about 15,000 simoleons. Back outside, Reid finishes another painting and we can sell that and also a bit more, as Reid has not only a car but also a book in his inventory, and he won't need either one of them, so we can sell both. Reid will now quickly relieve himself and we jump over to Patrick. Because with the end of his shift at the grocery store, Patrick gets promoted to shopping music DJ. And with that, he has now reached the 3rd and final level of the grocery store clerk part-time career, and so we can mark our second to last part-time career of this playthrough as completed. Patrick will now quickly return to the supermarket to sell all the fruits and vegetables in his inventory, which makes us just shy of 23,000 simoleons. And I did that as a way to work towards completion of the lifetime wish for Reid. Now normally the swimming in cash lifetime wish is completed once you have 50,000 simoleons on hand. For whatever reason, Reid's wish won't complete until we have 180,000, so we need about 5,000 more, and luckily Patrick can help us out here. By selling the money tree harvests and also a few eggs, we can go just above 180,000, and so Reid's lifetime wish is now complete and he gets rewarded with 40,000 lifetime happiness points. And while Reid cleans up and Patrick grabs himself something to eat, we will spend those points. The first 10,000 are used on fertility treatment, because yes, I want Pauline and Reid to have at least twins. The next 10,000 are then spent on Steel Bladder, a lifetime reward that I consider essential. And with the remaining 20,000 we will grab ourselves the Midlife Crisis lifetime reward, and we will now use that to completely overhaul Reid's character. First of all, we will get rid of all 5 traits he currently has, because we can't really use any of them. Like I said earlier, Reid will make his money painting, so the first trait we will grab is artistic. Then, just like with Pauline, we will also grab Loner for Reid. This will give him a small positive moodlet whenever he's alone. All in all, a nice mood boost to use while painting. Number 3 will be Loves the Outdoors, for multiple reasons actually. The first one being that Reid will paint outdoors, and this trait will give him another positive moodlet whenever he's outside. The second reason is that he might be forced to help Patrick out in the garden sometimes, and this trait will help to keep his mood up high while he does. Trait number 4 will be family-oriented, because in total Reid and Pauline will likely have at least 5 children, and Reid will be the person to primarily take care of them. And lastly, one of my overall favorite traits, over-emotional, to get just a little bit more out of those positive moodlets. And equipped with his new artistic skill set, Reid can now return to painting, and we can already see the effects of the Loves the Outdoors trait, as the one with nature moodlet here boosts his mood quite significantly. Pauline meanwhile has finished another painting and is now off to work, and she is pretty much guaranteed to receive a promotion today, and that promotion would be the last one in the thief branch of the criminal career, meaning that in a few hours we will likely have another career completed. Now Patrick has spent a bit of time after dinner with the SimLife goggles, but his fun bar is now maxed out again, and that means he can now take care of his fish. Outside with Reid we also see the positive effects of the loner trait, as Reid finishes another painting that we can now sell and then make a quick phone call with him. We talked about this earlier. Reid is currently employed in the spa specialist part-time career, but since I have no intentions of actually sending him off to work, he might as well quit that career. And here we are. Reid is now unemployed and can now focus exclusively on pleasing his evil mistress. For today, however, he will simply go to sleep. A few minutes later, Paul will do the same, and once he's done feeding the fish, Patrick can also get some rest now. And that leaves only Pauline. As expected, at 1 AM with the end of her shift, Pauline leaves work and gets promoted to Master Thief. And that means she has now reached the pinnacle of the thief career. And this not only fulfills a few wishes for her, it actually does fulfill her lifetime wish. And so with one final promotion, Pauline earns herself over 40,000 lifetime happiness points. And so we can now mark two things off as completed. First of all, the thief branch of the criminal career. This is the second to last full-time career we complete in this playthrough. The only one that still remains is the other criminal career path, which would be the evil branch. As you just saw, reaching level 10 in the thief career also completes the Master Thief lifetime wish number 27 of this playthrough. And I think this right here is actually a very good point to make the cut. With Pauline now safe and sound at the top of her career, we can focus on children next, and so expect Pauline and Reid to get busy between the sheets in the next episode. I also have a few other things still planned, but I don't want to spoil them here. For today, let me just say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.